Hello everybody, and welcome to my Summerween reading vlog. This week is Summerween. I am so excited. It is July 15th, the first day of the readathon. This is a readathon hosted by Olivia over at Olivia Reads a Latte and Gabby over at My Fictional World, and I'll leave all of their links down below. But this is a summer, I think this is the original version of this readathon, but there's been like mini rounds in the spring and in the winter, but it is a way to keep Halloween and the spooky season alive during the rest of the year. Summerween is my favorite iteration because it's the one that's like during the time of year that I am most missing fall and autumn. Spooky season in general, I am not a summer person. I get too hot and it makes me uncomfortable. It makes me like cranky, and so I am just itching for fall every time summer comes around. It's like without fail. This is the first time I've been properly able to really participate in this readathon, and I'm really excited about it. So let's get into my TBR for the week. The first book that I'm going to be reading is actually on audio, and that is The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. Most people know about this already ever since the Netflix show came out, and I adore the TV show. But this is actually a novel written quite a while ago. Let me actually look up when The Haunting of Hill House was written. Just give me a second. This book was written in 1959, and it's categorized as a gothic horror novel, which is my favorite kind of horror. So I'm really excited. I've heard it's very different from the TV show, but I am really excited to give it a go and to see where the source material came from and to see how I like it compared to the show. I can't see myself liking it more than the show, but that's just because the show's incredible, and I've heard that the show is better than the books. So I'm going off of rumors, but I am very excited to see how this goes. It's a pretty quick audiobook. It's only about 6 hours, so at the speed that I listen to it, I should be done in about 2.5 to 3. But I'm really excited. It's going to be my first book. It's going to fulfill the prompt of reading a book with haunt in the title. Next up, I'm going to be reading Clown in a Cornfield by Adam Cesare. This is a YA thriller horror book following the residents of a small town called Kettle Springs. Follows our main character Quinn, who her and her father move into this tiny little town that's really separated between the youth and the older generations. There was a murder or a party where a girl dies. And to the adults, it seems like they have no idea how to have any responsibility, how to work hard. But on the other hand, kids are not trusting of the adults. And it says, now Kettle Springs is caught in a constant battle between old and new, tradition and progress. It's a fight that looks like it'll destroy the town until one homicidal clown with a pork pie hat and a red nose decides to end it for good, because if your opponents all die, you win the debate by default. So it seems like a really interesting book. The tagline is "The kids are not all right," and it's won some awards. It won the 2020 Bram Stoker Award for Superior Achievement in a Young Adult Novel, and I'm really excited about this. I've heard very good things about it, and I'm interested to see what a YA horror thriller is going to look like, because I don't think I've read any before. Closest would be like YA mystery and like Truly Devious, but I don't think I've ever gone for a YA horror, so I am excited to see where this is going to go. This is going to fulfill the prompt of reading a book that is a slasher. Yeah, it's going to be good. Next up, I'm going to be reading The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. This is the, I think it's the most recent release by Grady Hendrix, but this is an adult horror novel following our main character, Lynette, who's a real-life final girl who survived a massacre. Says here, in horror movies, the final girls are the ones left standing when the credits roll. They made it through the worst night of their lives, but what happens after? From chainsaws to summer camp slayers, Grady Hendrix' fast-paced and wickedly humorous thriller, The Final Girl Support Group, plays tribute to and slyly subverts our most popular horror films. Movies like The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, A Nightmare on Elm Street, and Scream. Scream is one of my favorite movies, side note, of all time, regardless of genre. Like, it's just up there with one of my, like, at least top 10 favorite movies, so I love a good, like, reference. It says here, Lynette Tarkington is a real-life final girl who survived a massacre. For more than a decade, she's been meeting with 5 other final girls and their therapist in a support group for those that endured the unthinkable, working to put their lives back together. Then one woman misses a meeting, and Lynette's worst fears are realized. Someone knows about the group and is determined to rip their lives apart again, piece by piece. But the thing about final girls is that no matter how bad the odds, how dark the night, how sharp the knife, they will never ever give up. I'm really excited about this. I love the trope of the final girl. It's one of those like classic horror tropes, and I like to see that it's going to be kind of subverted in some way. and they're going to be kind of poking fun at the genre because there's a lot to poke fun of, but that's why I love it so much. So I'm excited to see what this take is going to be and to see how it's going to go. I'm going to watch Scream as well when I read this because I'm going to use this to fulfill the prompt of reading a book at nighttime or in the dark. So it's going to be a fun time. Finally, the last book that I'm going to be reading on my TBR is the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. This is one of Grady Hendrix' earlier novels. I've had it on my TBR for a while, so I'm excited to finally pick this up. This is a story set in the 90s following our main character Patricia, who's like a middle-aged mother, whose life has kind of gotten kind of boring and her relationship is kind of dying. And the only thing that really is keeping her going is her true crime book club that she meets with every week. And then one day some mysterious stranger shows up at the same time that kids in the town start to go missing. So there's kind of a mystery that needs to be solved. It obviously is involving vampires, which I love. I'm really interested. I've heard really good things about it. So I'm really excited to see how I'm going to like it. I'm reading this to fulfill the prompt of reading a book with Halloween colors on the cover. And this one's got red, black, orange, and green. So I think it covers the pretty wide gambit of Halloween related colors. And I'm really excited about it. So yeah, these are the books that I'm going to be reading this week. I'm going to start with Clown in a Cornfield, and I'm hopefully going to start it tonight. I have some homework that I need to finish. I worked this morning, and yeah, I have some assignments that are due at midnight tonight, so I have to finish those up, and then once I do, I am free as a bird to start reading for the weekend. I don't really have any other plans, I think, for this weekend, except for going on a walk, and yeah, I think that's it. So it's going to be a great weekend for reading, and I will keep you guys updated once I start my first read. So I just came out to get my Starbucks. I got myself my iced chai and some banana bread, and look at what I've spotted. In the wild! Look at it! We're getting one again! Our town hasn't had a spirit Halloween since 2019, I think, because the one location it used to have got like a permanent store. This like section of this plaza has been empty since this plaza was constructed, so I'm so excited. It's gonna be great. Hello everybody. So I just got out of the bath and I'm about 100 pages into Clown in a Cornfield, and it's interesting so far. I'm kind of really frustrated with the main character. I really don't like her point of view. But so far the story is interesting. It's very much giving like teeny bopper horror movie vibes, which goes with the annoying main character. So like I understand why it was done. I'm thinking I may have enjoyed this better so far if it was adult rather than being YA, but that could just be a me thing. But I'm having a good time. I'm flying through it. Like, I can't believe I'm already 100 pages in, so I'm probably going to finish this tonight. But if not, I'll definitely finish it tomorrow. But I just want to give you guys a quick little update. The story of, like, the clown is really interesting so far, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. You can definitely tell there's a massive divide between the town. And so far, I'm not seeing a ton of reasoning as to why, like, even underlying reasonings as to why, other than just, like, boomers hating on millennials and millennials hating on boomers, like, but with no, backing yet. So I'm hoping that's going to get a bit more developed, but so far, so good. So I'm reading Clown in the Cornfield. It's Saturday now, next day. I'm sitting in my reading chair, having a grand old time. And last night I was talking to Tyler about this book and saying that one of the things that was kind of throwing me off was that we were 100 pages in and nobody had died yet, and the book's only like 300 pages long. So I was like, it's a little slow right now, like not a whole lot's happened. I should have read the next chapter because the first person died. I literally called him in here a few minutes ago, just be like, hey, so remember what I said last night? I should have kept reading. So now we're definitely getting into the slasher part of the book, which is really cool. I'm really like, I have no idea who it is that's doing it. But some of the characters are just like so cliche, and like some of the shit that comes out of their mouth is hilarious. I think one of the things that's driving me nuts about Quinn, the main character, is that I don't really know what her deal is. Like, she keeps switching her personality like every 5 minutes. Like, she goes from being super like fond of her dad and like happy to be there and have a fresh start, and then she's complaining, and then she's saying he's gonna embarrass her, and then she's like, I don't know, her personality just keeps switching on a dime, and it's driving me a little nuts. But I'm still enjoying my time. I'm about 140 pages in now, so I'm definitely gonna finish this today, and we'll see how it goes from here. I just finished chapter 11, and this book has taken a weird turn from like Scream slasher-esque to like Saw slasher-esque, and I wasn't expecting that, so this one's weird. That's my thoughts right now. Hello everybody, it is about, I want to say like 7 o'clock, and I just finished reading Clown in the Cornfield, my first read for Summerween, and I ended up actually enjoying this. This was a weird ride. It was very cheesy. It was very like cringeworthy at times, but it did what it said on the tin. It was a slasher. It was inspired by 90s horror, and I had a good time while reading it. It really picked up after the like about the halfway mark, and I didn't realize I had flown through like 13 chapters when I realized. But yeah, I did end up really enjoying it, and I'll probably pick up the sequel. It had like all the elements of cheesy 90s slasher movies that you enjoy, and like it kept me guessing, and it was really gory, but like, I don't know, it had a lot of different twists and turns. A few of them I guessed, but some of them I really didn't. And overall I'm quite satisfied with it. I ended up probably I'm gonna give it like a 4 out of 5. Because it was a good time. And I'm really excited to be done my first read of the readathon. It's Saturday night, and I think tonight we're going to be continuing with our friend's Lego kit, because Tyler for our anniversary got me the Central Perk Lego kit. So we've been building that slowly, which is really fun. And I think we're going to continue that tonight and try and catch up on Miss Marvel, because we're super behind. And now that all the episodes are out, we can just binge it, which is fun. I might get him to try and watch more of Only Murders in the Building, because that's been my kick lately. And then tonight I might start on another book tonight. I don't know. I might have a bath and do my typical ritual. If I do start another book, it's probably going to be the Southern Book Club's Guide to Playing Vampires, just because I need something different than like a slasher, and like the Final Girls Support Group seems like it's going to be a slasher, so I'll switch to some vampire fun. And see how it's going there. But I've been really enjoying myself just sitting here with my little fall study ambiance, which is one of my favorites. Sitting in my reading chair, getting some books read. It's really nice to be able to sit and do that, because I don't have a ton of homework right now. And like, the school year is winding down, and I can't believe it. Like, I'm done in like a month, and that's insane to me. By August 12th, I'll have handed in my final assignments for my degree, which is absolutely maddening. But yeah, it's been a really nice afternoon. I've had a good time. Tomorrow we're gonna go for a walk, and we're gonna walk down to the library so I can time how long it takes to walk, to see if I can just walk myself to work starting in August, which would be really nice. Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm having a really good time, and I will update you guys when I have more info. Hi everybody. So I'm in the bath again. and I want to give you guys a quick update. I just, this afternoon, I started reading the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix, and I want to give you guys a update because I just passed the 100-page mark. I'm really enjoying it so far. It's kind of a little different than I expected. I don't know why. Like I said, it's set in like the early 80s and now the 90s, following our main character Patricia. And like, I don't know why, but I originally, when I first heard about this book, I thought that the main character was supposed to be black. And it's definitely not. And so I feel a little confused as to what book I thought I was reading. But I am enjoying this for what it is. The 90s housewife kind of discourse is a little hilarious. It feels like it's written earlier than when it was actually set, but I don't know if that's just because the main character is like from a different time or what, but it feels like it's set way earlier than the 90s. Maybe it's because it's in the South and it's in like a town community that hasn't really caught up to the times or anything yet, but there's a lot of like casual misogyny and general like hysteria vibes almost that is kind of like throwing me off, but I guess that just comes with the time and the setting of the book. But I'm excited to see where this is going. We just had our first real like creepy encounter, so I'm excited to see where the rest of this is gonna go. And I'll keep you guys updated. Hello everybody, so today I have quite the update for you. It's Thursday. It's like 11 o'clock at night. I just got home. I spent the day with my friend Megan, and as you guys will have seen, we did some baking. We made some M&M cookies and some banana muffins, and it was lovely. And I got to bring some cookies home for Tyler, which is always fun, and it's always nice to see my friend. We don't see each other nearly as often as I'd like, so it was a lovely day. I haven't done much reading today, but last night I ended up finishing the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. This book I really enjoyed. I ended up giving this a 5 out of 5 stars. I was so captivated by this. So, like I mentioned before, it follows Patricia, who is our main character, and is a housewife in the late 80s, early 90s as this book takes place. And she's dealing with this stranger to her world. It's kind of turning her world upside down at the same time as a large population of specifically poor black children are going missing in another lesser affluent area of town. And Patricia seems to be the only person in her affluent neighborhood that cares. She's convinced that it's this new stranger that's infiltrated their lives and is going through a lot of difficult times trying to decide what she should do, figure out how to fix this, how to help people, how to get people to believe her. There was a lot of misogyny and it was very frustrating to read, and like infuriating at times. And it was very annoying, but it came with the kind of characters we were dealing with. It really made me hate most of the characters. And it was just incredibly frustrating, but it made sense for the story, if that makes sense. I hit the 100-page mark when I was in the bath when I last spoke to you guys, and I flew through the rest of it. I sat in that bath for like 4 hours and I finished the entire book because it was just so captivating at that point. I was fascinated with the mystery and kind of figuring out how this was going to work, how it was going to end, what was going to happen. I had no clue. It had a lot of surprises for me, and I was really satisfied with the ending. It was much gorier than I thought. Oh yeah, can I just say, rats have never been a fear of mine, but they are now. This book was disturbing in some of its gore and descriptions of what was going on, much more than I anticipated for being a vampire book. So that was a bit like shocking to me. But overall, I didn't hate Patricia as a character as I thought I would at first. She drove me a little bit crazy at the beginning, but I can see where she was coming from with a lot of her worries, and she was trying her best. There's a lot of different talks about class, and they got so close to having this great discussion about like racism and classism and how that intersects, but they kind of missed the mark a little bit. but I don't know if that was the intention of the book, so I don't know. There was definitely like hints of it there, and they got really close to it, and I felt like that could get developed a bit more. Overall, I really enjoyed myself, and I'm giving this a 4.5 out of 5 stars. So that is my second book for Summerween done. Hello everybody, today is Tuesday, July 19th. So we're getting close to the end of this readathon, and I wanted to give you guys a quick update. So yesterday I didn't really do any reading, and so today I'm going to be starting in on the final girl support group. I'm probably gonna not be able to start this until it gets dark out, which is perfect because I want to use this to fulfill the reading a book when it's dark out prompt, because I started Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires earlier in the day, so I didn't read the entire thing at night. Same with Clown in a Cornfield, so this is going to be the one. And I'm finishing up work right now and getting a bit of schoolwork done, and then once I'm done that, I'm going to do a bit of house stuff, like putting the laundry away, that kind of thing, and then I'm going to sit down and get some reading done. I also want to start listening to my audiobook of The Haunting of Hill House while I play some Animal Crossing, because it's been a while since I've been on my island, so I need to do a bit of catching up there and continuing on making some progress, so I'm gonna do that. And yeah, today's been a bit of a weird day. It took a long time getting started today. I was just not in any kind of mood. I just wanted to sleep, but I've perked up a little bit since then. I'm excited for Thursday because I get paid on Thursday, which means I'm going to get to go to Bath & Body Works and end this vlog out with a lovely trip to the Halloween section, and see if I can stock up on some candles, because I'm burning currently my last autumnal candle that's not like super sweet. Like I've got a ton of like pumpkin pecan waffle candles and that kind of thing, but I don't have very many other types of fall candles. I really want to get more pumpkin apple and more sweater weather, and I'm currently burning autumn, which is another one of my favorites, so I want to get more of those because they're my favorites, and I'm running out for the first time like ever. But yeah, that's my quick update. I will let you guys know once I've done some reading. Oh, I filmed my reel this morning, which was really fun, of like my reading routine, and I did it using the autumn filter on TikTok and put it to like a spooky Halloween cozy song. And it was a lot of fun, and it just put me in the mood, so I am ready to get some more progress done on my book. Hello everybody, today is Thursday, July, what day is it? 21st. I had a bit of a busier last couple days than I anticipated, so I haven't really done much reading, but today's the last day of Summerween, and I am determined to pretty much start and finish The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. This is the last physical book that I had on my TBR. I have not listened to my audiobook, but that's okay. It's just not gonna happen today. And this book is only just over 300 pages, so I should be able to read it pretty quickly. So I am just going to make my office comfy and sit down and try and get through this last read before the end of the readathon. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm about 150 pages into the Final Girl Support Group, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm really loving how we can kind of pin each of the different girls in the support group to a classic slasher movie that's been adapted for this book. So like there's one that's 100% Scream, there's one that's Jamie Lee Curtis from Halloween, there's one that's definitely from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, one from Friday the 13th. Like it's very clear which one is each of them are kind of representing. And seeing how they've dealt with their trauma over the past 30 years is really interesting, and seeing how they've their personalities have developed around this incident that happened to them when they were in their teens. I find it interesting that they've like made a full-blown definition for final girl that includes not just the final girl that survived at the end of a massacre, but who killed their killer and who's come back for the second time. So there's like multiple requirements that make you a final girl, which I find really interesting. And like periodically throughout the book, there are these little inserts of like fictionalized media surrounding this. So like this is like somebody ranked the slasher like movie franchises that spawned out of their traumas. As like the slashers franchise is ranked by Russell Thorne, Rue Morgue magazine, August 2010. Like they've got little bits of media sporadically included in this to see kind of how the outside world has viewed these victims. And I'm really interested. The plot is really interesting so far. It's very clear that there's something coming after these girls. Years later again. It just seems to be the way that their lives go. And it seems really interesting so far. And it's really interesting to see how the tropes are kind of being portrayed in this. The main character, Lynette, is like, she's driving me crazy, but it's just because she's incredibly paranoid because of what she's been through, and her paranoia seeps through with every interaction that she has, which makes her a really interesting character. She just drives me nuts. That's just a me thing, but again, I like I said, I'm really enjoying this, and I'm excited to see where the mystery is going to go, because it's very clear that something's after these women, and they don't know what it is. So trying to put that mystery together at the same time is really interesting. This week has been a really nice reprieve for me. It's been really nice for me to just kind of like look forward to fall and embrace the spooky vibes that I've been looking for. And I've been getting some really good reading in, and I've been enjoying all my reads so much. It's really helped me because this month has been a very reading slump heavy month. So this is helping me get out of that, and I'm really happy for it. It looks like the only prompts that I'm not going to get to is a book with haunt in the title, which I wasn't sure it was going to happen anyway, so I'm not too upset about it. But I am excited to finish this up and have completed my first Summerween. I just wanted to come on here and give you guys a quick wrap up of the books that I did manage to complete this week. So the first book that I read this week was Clown in a Cornfield by Adam Cesare. I really enjoyed this, and I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5 stars. Really fun time, great like 90s slasher vibes, didn't take itself too seriously and was kind of ridiculous, but I really enjoyed it. And then the other book that I managed to finish was The Southern Book Club's Guide for Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. I read this in almost an entire day, or almost in one go, and I loved this. I thought it was a really great take on a vampire story. Again, it gave me that like 90s historical vibe. The characters were great, and I was really satisfied with it. It was also gory and creepy and terrifying, so I really enjoyed this. I'm really glad this was my first Grady Hendrix, and I gave this a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this vlog. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it, because it really does help support my channel, and leave me a comment down below letting me know how your Summerween readathon went, or what books you've been reading recently. If you're new here, please subscribe. I put out new bookish and writing videos every week, and I hope you guys have a lovely day. Bye-bye.